Here's something we can all test the next time we go out. You do or I do. I started observing this fairly recently. So, remember when you're out and about, let's say you have a routine of walking in the morning, during the afternoon, after you've had your lunch in the office, you go for a walk, either with colleagues or by yourself. You grab a smoke, maybe a cup of tea, coffee, could be anything. Something that's a routine um, in your life, which is not work, right? How often does it happen when you're walking by, let's say on a street, or even within the confines of your own society, um, let's say around the office or out on the road itself, as in on the sidewalk? Hmm. How often do you recall or do you think while you're walking by what the other person or somebody else walking across by your side, somebody behind you, might do? I know it's an odd thought, but we do have those thoughts, right? While you're walking, what might happen if somebody approaches you? Could be anything. But how often is it that that particular thought is not a normal thought? It's mostly something that's preparing you inside for some kind of a conflict. How often is that? It's not something that you're expecting, which is something ordinary that might happen. Somebody might come up to you asking for address, asking for time. I don't know, but it still does happen. People ask for time, address, some particular location, or something or the other. Or how much of it do you really expect to be some kind of a conflict? Somebody coming up to you and saying something, well, that might lead to some kind of a conflict, argument, a fight. I don't know. It has happened to me, and maybe it's just me. I walk my dog quite often outside. Um, it has happened that people have approached and say, "Don't walk your dog here. Careful around me." Well, the dog is on the leash. You are not. You can just walk carefully around him. That's just one example. It's just got defensive there, but anyways. So that's where your mind goes a lot, doesn't it? And maybe it's just me, but I'm pretty sure it's not just me. I'm not alone in this. I'm not special in any way, right? But lately, what I've started observing is we have grown so much to expect conflict even in non situations. You're walking out, you're expecting defensive and offensive activities from complete strangers when there is nothing remotely even inciting that conflict. Unless you're already thinking that you're doing something wrong, even when you're walking by on a sidewalk, not even jaywalking, you're just walking normally. There is a piece in our mind that's somehow gotten attuned to violence, conflict, some kind of a defensive mechanism. Why is that? Well, mostly because we have stresses in our life, and I know I'm not wrong about that. We're all stressed. The whole country, not just this country, the whole world is under tremendous stress right now. You know what's going on out there? Conflicts, wars, even though those are nothing new. Those particular countries always fight, including our own. Every neighboring country fight. Neighbors just don't get along. No matter how much somebody says, good neighbors are like good family. But how often is it that you have good neighbors? You yourself are neighbors to someone else. How often are you thinking that the person across, the person upstairs, there's just something wrong there, or something wrong waiting to be happened? We have become like this. About 40, 50 years ago, it was not even remotely like this. Small towns, people do have animosity, but they don't fight that often. Cities have a way of doing this. And I'm not blaming my behavior on the entire city structure. No. You know what I'm talking about. How often do you go across to your neighbor, knock on their door, and say, hey? I know it might be rude sounding, somebody might be resting or something or the other. But even then, how has that become a thing? Right? You can be just as pleasant bringing your neighbors something that you made, something that you baked, cooked, or something, just to say, hey, we're here, so are you. Let's 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 just reinforce that. The neighborly behavior, which is going out the window as fast as you can just breathe. It's happening. We all know it. Nobody wants to acknowledge it, but it is happening. No matter how much we have friends in our own locality and society, how often do we meet? Unless there is some routine that we follow and we meet outside. I can guarantee you, none of us are busy in our homes to a degree that we cannot go out and meet our neighbors and friends, the ones that are close by. But we don't. We text them. Maybe we call them. How often? You don't know. But we text check. Are you there? You want to meet up in the evening? We've stopped stepping out of our own houses because of this thing right there. And this thing that you're holding right now. There are upsides to it, but downsides are the far too many downsides to having a remote connectivity, a device in your hand. Hey, I'm recording this for you and for everyone else who's got a device on their hand. I'm part of it. But again, how hard is it to ask someone to let's meet up if you don't have our regular scheduled meetings, or people are not really going to offices as much as they used to about 5 years ago. It was a thing, routine. Well, it's not there anymore, but somehow we have still occupied a space and time when we don't have that rigorous of a schedule to keep. And you can still find people who says, oh no, since we've started working from home, the workload is doubled. I'm sure, but what's the percentage of people that have that going on? I would say about 2%, 5 maybe, even for people that are in sales, marketing. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you're not going out in the field, you do not have that much work even when you're home. Fact. And you can check me on that. I don't mind. Set me wrong. Say I'm a liar. You don't know what I'm talking about. Give me proof. Refute. Welcome it. But coming back to what I started with, the mindset that's aggressive and somehow has gone detached from social structures. I'm not saying we are antisocial, or most of us are, or I am. I might be. It's not an accusation. It's something that we need to self-reflect, and we seriously do need to self-reflect. people walking by, including yourself outside, are not out to get each other. That's not happening. We've all got our own lives, involvements, stresses, issues. We all do. When we step outside, we're not supposed to take all of those out with other people.